All right. So the last video on NQ, I said this is what I drew, right? Come down here, maybe to the consequent encroachment of that daily fair value gap, and then come back up here to the 38, pull back a little bit to the 23, come up to the 50. This this kind of was the idea. I said mostly probably consolidate in a range before CPI tomorrow. I said we could probably wick down below the 20 and consolidate in a range right here, which is exactly what took place. So on that note, I charted this during the day. There was a gap in the market here. We just could not get above that 50% that was drawn Saturday. Also, there's a daily fair value gap down here and an inverse daily fair value gap right here. So as far as trade-wise, what I was looking at, this little move, this consolidation here, I mean, these levels were being very respected. Even though we didn't get down to the CE today, I suspect we tap it tomorrow. I would expect to fill this gap. The thing is that I was looking at was to go short, I would like to inverse this, right? We've been respecting this daily fair value gap. And we have a huge gap below us, right? All this below the 50% of this consequent encroachment down to here. Let's chart it. So this is going to be a gap fill, right? We're going to have a gap fill here. 17, 785, 75. We have filled all the other gaps that are up here consolidating. See this one here, yep, was filled here. We gapped up, we filled it. We gapped up again here, and it was filled. So really we have this guy remains unfilled, and this big one down here, which is unfilled. I think there's even another one. Yep. This one down here, 17,106. That's quite a ways down. But I was looking at it, and I think we have, yep, a negative 3 standard deviation off of this consolidation here. Let's go out to a daily. What do we got? All right, let's chart these bullish fair value gaps. Oh, look at that. The CE of this one is a negative 161, almost on the money. All right, let's label it. Settings, text, 1 day fair value gap. Right. I'm gonna make it even with this, that way I could see it. Let's do this one. That's crazy. Um, Look at that. So off of that consolidation from today, right, from here to the center of this one, which is where I thought we would go. I saw these levels being respected, so I do believe we will get there. But off the projections off of that, this, these are the daily fair value gaps we just charted out on a smaller time frame. Do you see the daily here? Right in between this -2.1 and -2.5, this daily fair value gap that fits perfectly right in there. It's unbelievable. Um, that's crazy. And we have a gap to fill right to the top of it, right to the top of that one, right there. Okay. And there's another gap to fill down here. So I just like to chart all of these out, all of them. Settings, gap fill. Where is that? 17,110. Why did it take me way over there? That's weird. So that's at 17,110. It's a ways down. And we have this one here. So if CPI is hot, right, and they think that the Fed will not be cutting rates, could cause a good sell-off. And I would imagine we would fill this here. 17,785, 75. Just go to a 5-minute. We have this gap here that has not been filled. We inverted this daily. There's this gap here. I mean, this is just this one is, this is crazy how it lines up between the two fibs perfectly. And there's another gap down here. I would be watching for this one. If we, well, I guess I can remove these because that already played out. Well, didn't really play out. Didn't pull back as much as I wanted to, but we did consolidate in the range as I expected. And there's a gap to be filled right here. So I would be waiting for this daily to inverse, come and retest it for confirmation to come down to fill this gap, is what I would be doing if I was short biased. On a daily time frame, we are right in between the 10 and the 20. So, we've just kind of stalled out in this area. And we're respecting this daily, right? That's this one. So I'd want to see this be disrespected in order to come lower to fill the gap. If this daily still holds and we fill this gap here and inverse it and use it as support, I would be long biased up into this range And then ultimately, I'd like to see this flipped back again. So let's draw it out. See if this gap fills, right? Get a firm move through it. Use it as support because it's acted as resistance all day long. I'd want to see this flipped as well so we could push higher. Why is it doing that? Right? Something like that. And just keep going up. If we go to a 15, look for some equal highs. I guess we'd be looking to take this out. So this would be a profit target right here off of CPI. And where would we go? Where would we go? Let's use those fib projections again off of this. Because we were respecting those. Remember? That was it. All right. This would be number 2. -4 standard deviation move to the upside. Remove that. This would be our goal. Right here. Bink. All right. 18, 8, 12, 75. If we are bullish and the market continues to roll upwards and we take out this previous high, this is my target. 18, 8, 12, 75. Now if CPI is hot, no shot of a rate cut yet. I would like to see this daily inverse. Okay, maybe we even, I mean, that's a big, if we can inverse this here, drop down to this 50%, and bounce. Either we do that. Come down, respect that, come down, and fill this gap at a minimum is what I would look for. Either way, it's a pretty big move, but I mean, if you let's go out to an hourly. Do we have anything a little more? No, this is it. This is an hourly as well. I would honestly like to see that more. Fill that. Oop, don't move that. Just fill that gap. That'd be great. A lot of support down here though. And we're still respecting this daily and the 20. So those are the two scenarios. If we can get above this gap here, which we were held below all day, all day long, get above it, inverse it, use it as support, inverse this daily, crack this high. This is the goal. 18, 8, 12, 75. CPI is hot. I want 17, 785, 75. Let's fill this. And obviously, we have some more much lower. This is a trip right here. This gap, this daily fair value gap that is right in between these two fibs. And then we have another gap to fill down here. But we should be going into bullish seasonality soon. And they might be saving this for that. We'll have to see what CPI looks like. But these are my trade scenarios for CPI. I'll leave them up. We'll check back after and see what happens. Hop over to Bitcoin real quick. Still hasn't done anything really since our first take profit zone. Here, there's just no trade on it for me yet. It would be nice if we could get a pullback to run this low resistance liquidity here, but whoever this big seller was here must be satisfied because it's just slowly grinding up. It tapped our first take profit. If we can get above it, sustain it, this is our second one. This is just, I figured this would be a zone that there'd be a lot of profit taking in. So there's just no trade on it for me currently. But CPI should get some movement. So we will check back tomorrow. So have a good day. Happy trading.